Hey, how's it going everyone? So I'm pretty sure by now you've seen a whole bunch of videos talking about certain inner arts or mystic skills, giving you a broad or deceivingly narrow view of what's good or not. No real explanation as to why, no real examples, and possibly leading you to prioritize incorrect things and even use those things incorrectly. Now, I'm not claiming I have superior understanding, but I've done some homework myself by watching others and trying what I've learned in this amazing zero ping issue having place known as PvP Arena.
Wait, am I like? Oh, get this shit off me!
And for my fellow PvP anxiety players, don't worry, I share your pain. But a lot of this is just general knowledge that you can apply anywhere. And I myself am only in the gold to platinum range, but I do have this certified gamer tag that I gave myself, so now my opinion matters. Now let's start with the elephant in the room, since it's a quick rundown, since I won't be telling you what is the best, since I really have to experience these things myself. But I will be able to at least guide you better than a lot of other people. So Moral Chant, yes, it's a good art. Yes, you want to max it out, obviously. But when do you want to max it out is the question you should be asking. Now let's go through Moral Chant's breakthroughs. When the target is controlled, double Yi River's effect, so 10% damage bonus at max stacks, and you're also building stacks a lot quicker. So tier 3 breakthrough, very good. Next one. At max stacks, Yi River additionally attacks or heals a target once, twice when a target is under some kind of CC. However, this has a 10-second cooldown, which will make a difference depending on the flow of the battle you're having. Still, this is of course extremely good. Now, not saying the other nodes aren't important, but these two stand out. Now, let's look at Sword Morph. You can charge and unleash multiple sword energy attacks without a key shield when you're not in combat or within 5 seconds after unleashing the sword energy of Shadow Step. Now the point I'm going to make is how already at the first breakthrough, a lot of these are changing your playstyle, and at least for me, that is more important than any extra % damage. Obviously, I'm downplaying Moral Chant here a bit, but we can also downplay Sword Morph as the only next changers are tier 4 and 6. However, look at tier 3. Hitting a target with sword energy increases your sword energy damage against them by 3% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 12%. Now, of course, this is a much smaller window than Moral Chant, but at least we're getting some extra damage. Now, hopefully, you're starting to see a few cracks, let's say, in this Moral Chant worshipping. If not, then let's look at Fury Harvest. After casting a Mystic skill, 30% of the vitality consumed within 5 seconds will be refunded. And you should know by now just how useful and overpowered Mystic skills are. If not, then stick around. How about Vital Leech? Pressing F on a target refunds HP. Meh. Tier 6. Attacking exhausted targets with any skill other than Exhaustion Execution will restore HP equal to 30% of the damage dealt. And this, generally speaking, is going to keep you alive a lot longer, especially in PvP fights. And of course, stamina, arguably at least for some builds, is the most important resource. So I would really recommend you go through these breakpoints and don't focus on the initial description of any of these arts. The true value is inside. So when people tell you to just use Moral Chant, just know that it's a good option for those who haven't honed in or aren't using very specific builds, or the real reason is simply due to the fact that there just isn't better options to contribute to said build, but that doesn't necessarily make it the main focus. Not to mention, there's also things like affinity and precision, which is something I still have to learn about as well. And for those who are obsessed with the meta in China, you should know that global does not have the same patches as China has. So things that are good there might not translate directly to global.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker!
So another way you could look at this is that inner arts have different tiers depending on what breakthrough point you're on. So hopefully this gives you a better understanding on how you might want to look at things. Now for the most important part of this game, no matter who you are or what you're doing, animation cancels. And there are millions and billions of reasons of why you should learn how to animation cancel. For PvP, the main reason is going to be for combo extending and baiting or catching opponents off guard. And for PvE, well, we look cool and I guess it'll help you stay on top in damage in your PvE adventures. And just for ease of demonstration, I'll be showing a lot of these against PvE, and because PvP has 0 issues at all, a lot of the times landing stuff is basically a coin flip. But everything will work if Ping Jesus is by your side. That and well, I still kinda suck. Now let's start off with the basics. Parry cancelling, auto attacks, heavy attacks, weapon skills, dodging, and certain mystic skills can all be cancelled using a parry cancel. Airborne heavy attack ending animations can also be cancelled. and anything that you try that is not cancelable with the parry cancel is often cancelable with a defense cancel. Rope dart tab, for example, can be cancelled with parry cancelling and also defense cancelling. However, if you let the animation play for too long, you'll only be able to cancel with parry. So other weapons or skills or mystic skills might follow the same idea, and I have no idea what's really going on with this, but yeah. While other weapons like sword, spear, and fan can be cancelled by defending, but not with parrying. Yaksha Rush, for example, cannot be cancelled with a parry, but can be with a defense cancel. Now, what are some use cases for this? Besides the whole mind game thing of constantly having your character doing stuff, you of course are going to be able to get rid of any unnecessary animations, especially the ones that have you stuck in place. For PvP, a parry cancel you'll be using the most, Easy Dragon's Breath or Drunken Poet drinking animation, mainly to disguise using it, and for higher elos, you basically want this running 24/7, so you need to cancel the animation. Now, let's build a combo as an example. And by the way, everything I learn and use is from these two creators, which I highly recommend checking out, as well as videos on Bilibili. And it's honestly just insane how mesmerizing these higher level PvP fights are, and you'll learn a lot from them as well, so it's a win-win. So let's use Strategic Sword as an example. So with this Sword Horizon in art, we do our charge attack, and we can then follow up with a heavy attack at the right time. Now, one way that we can extend this is by using the parry cancel after the heavy attack once we get our knockup out, launching the enemy in the air, and then from here you can, for example, switch into spear and use our heavy attack. For an example with the rope dart, left click while spinning, parry cancel, switch to ink fan, and knockup. You can of course use this with the skill pool or the heavy pool, and then it's a matter of messing around and finding out fun combos, paired with taking advantage of swapping your weapon with tab to further increase these combos. Now let's go over some mystic skills. First, and in my opinion, these two are the most important, especially if you hate twin blades. So using either one of these skills will initially have your drink and then perform said move. You can parry cancel of course, to then use any skill of your choosing. Now besides being really good to end your combos when your opponent is on the ground, this skill is amazing for getting out or avoiding sticky situations. The reason being that this is one of the mystic arts that has super armor. So if you're constantly getting twirly sworded on, there's nothing a quick sip cannot fix. And then of course you can use it to deny engages or anything that might stagger you. Another armor move, being Wolf-like Frenzy, is good for being an armor move and is also obviously good for the Inkwell fan. However, you can also use Wolf-like Frenzy, cancel out of it after the knockup, and then follow up with Free Morph. Yaksha Rush also works, just remember it's with the defense parry instead. Yaksha Rush also allows for this fun interaction in PvE with the Ink fan. Lion's Roar into Yaksha to serve as a catch-up tool and then keep comboing. And as you can see, this shit is starting to get fun. Add to this something like Meridian Touch or Soaring Spin, which will allow you to immediately cancel once your dash is done, allowing you to catch your opponents off guard. Add yet another layer with something like Ghostly Steps to become even more deceiving. And then of course there are things like which mystic art or weapon skills take priority when clashing. Another extremely important thing to know and abuse is going to be just blocking. Obviously this is just a good habit overall to reduce damage, but more importantly is going to be your defensive deflect attack, which is another amazing tool just like the dragon or poet, which will allow you to get out of sticky situations. So for example, you can bait your opponent to hit you and then save up that deflection attack as a time limited get out of jail card. Next, dodging. As you can see, there are two types of dodges. A really quick backdash that happens when only pressing shift, or the regular directional one. So of course, depending on the situation, the quick backstep is going to be a lot faster and easier to kind of get out of your opponent's attacks. Soaring Spin can also be used as an extra dash back to dodge or bait. And as for bow, sadly there isn't much besides using it whenever you can. It's just good extra damage. And this is mostly for PvE, or if you're against some very special people, then jump, left click into right click into palm is something you can do. Anyway, chances are I forgot to mention something, but hopefully you at least understand just how much resources and resource management and all the cancelling and shit is what really matters in this game. At least a lot more than damage does. So keep your eye on the comments for any updates or information. Thank you all for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya!